Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and one of the questions that was asked today is about the future of Google Chrome and the Chromium project, which it comes from. And the question is, do you think that could disappear someday? That the Chromium project and Google Chrome could be gone? First of all, with the way that it is now, I can't even see any future where Google Chrome and the Chromium project will not be there, as it is dominant. Dominant in many ways. Google Chrome itself is the dominant browser that everybody uses. Now, I say everybody, but obviously there's people using other browsers. But it has such a high market share that it dominates the usage of browsers. The other thing is, at large, where the dominance is even bigger is the fact that the Chromium project, well, it's the base for every single browser out there except Firefox. So that makes the dominance more than 90% of the Chromium project. And so this is, and of course, Safari on Apple is not based on Chromium also. But that means that on every device, on everything we use, even our smartphones, most of the browsers are based on Chromium. And unless you're using Safari on a Mac and an iPhone, iPad, or Firefox on a PC, you're pretty much, using a Chromium browser. So the dominance is major. Could that disappear someday? Nothing is impossible, but there is an advantage for the Chromium project, the open source Chromium project. The fact that an open source means anybody can go grab the open source code and do its own browser, its own thing with it. And that is always an advantage. It's like using the core code of Linux and all the distros built over them and all the different interfaces that are built over it. It's the same thing. It's you use a common code to create something else different from the others. That's why you look at Edge, you look at Opera, you look at Brave, you look at Chrome, Google Chrome. They all look somewhat different. Some are more similar, but if you look at Opera, look at how different it is, and it's a Chromium-based browser. So there is an advantage to have one code that everybody can use to build something on. Makes it easier. Also helps in compatibility. Look at how Firefox often has little glitches that we don't see on other browsers, simply for the fact that it doesn't use the same basic code. So its compatibility sometimes suffers on some websites. So that means that the Chromium base is there to stay because everybody just goes there and uses that. And apart from big companies like Microsoft, which tried to actually build its own browser with the first version of Edge, and it abandoned. Why did it abandon? Because it discovered, it's so much easier to build on top of Chromium and do something with that instead. So at the end, Chromium itself is not in danger. I think it's going to be there as long as there's browsers. The Chromium project is going to exist. Just like as long as there's operating systems, the Linux core will always exist. It's the way it is. It's something out there that is used and that people like. So that open source side of things makes it appealing to everybody. Now, the reason of that question could be because of the antitrust issues going on with Google right now, where actually there's been some discussion of having Google Chrome browser separate from Alphabet, from Google, have it go on its own entity. And of course, Google Chrome is a big browser. It's the majority of what people use. So Google doesn't want to depart from it, but if it has to, there will be some way that they're going to depart from it, but in a distance, possibly have some control over it still. But it won't kill Google Chrome. It's tough to have people move on to a new browser. Look how long it took for Google Chrome to actually beat Internet Explorer. It took many, many years. So the same will happen with Google Chrome, even if there would be a desire to move on to something else. It's years before anybody adopts a new browser or a new way of doing things. There would have to be some major things happening. So I can't see Google Chrome browser itself, nor the Chromium project itself, go away. That isn't something that I see in the foreseeable future. It doesn't mean that it can't go away someday. Everything can happen. Look at Internet Explorer, how dominant it was for many years. It's now it's gone. It's replaced with Edge, and even Edge has a second choice when you look at the market share. It's so far away from Google Chrome. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.